Hello. Listening to Christian Thielemann conducting the Vienna Philharmonic Orchestra. They're playing Beethoven's symphonies. This one is the seventh right now, the third movement. And I am doing some beautiful netting of a completely new blue. A new blue. I just love it, the way it comes out there. I'm in love with this, the way it feels, and the way it looks. So awesome. So awesome. I'm in love with this. Oh, this is amazing. I'm drinking a tea from a plant which I found myself. It was growing in an open area that was not developed, not worked on, just public land. And so I picked up different herbs there the other day. Among them, wild roses, many. I have made tea with that. It's nerve tonic. And I picked up wild chamomile flowers. I don't know if they are actually chamomile flowers, but they smell similar to it, or if they are margaritas. I don't know exactly, or if it's a different type. I don't know, but they are definitely related. They look like chamomile and smell similar and taste similar. And I made tea with that, and it is extremely relaxing, extremely sedative. So they are obviously related to chamomile, because that is what chamomile does as well. This seems to be even more sedative than chamomile flowers. And I didn't use very many. I picked about like this many to fit into 2 hands. And then I split it in 3 parts, and I use only 1 part per tea kettle. So just like a handful of those in my tea bag. I have a tea bag that I made myself out of an old t-shirt. You know, I can tie it on the top so that the herbs particles don't go into the tea kettle, and so that it only the essence gets through. And I used to cook the plants in the pot. I don't do that anymore, because I read then if you overcook those, then it can sort of weaken the medicinal properties in it. And so what I do is I have a water boiler, and this works very well, and then I pour the boiling water, once it's boiling, into my tea kettle. Yay! Oh, I wonder if that's my flowers coming. That's cool. Hi, lady. I don't know whether the flowers are coming with regular postal service, UPS, or Federal Express. So I will see. I can't see. So once I get the flowers, I have to immediately take that protective foil off the top, and I have to give them water. Okay. And then I'm probably going to implant them into a larger, thank you, into a larger bucket. But Paul has to first drill holes, several holes in the bottom of that bucket. And then I'm going to put my own biodynamic self-made soil into it with different layers. I'm also going to put kaolin clay layers in it as well, like alternating, just light kaolin layer, and then I don't know how acidic the kaolin layers are. It should not be too acidic, because this is those are young plants, young flowers. One in light purple and one in white. Grandiflora roses. The purple one is called Lagerfeld, and the white one is called White Thunder. It's awesome. I'm wearing my Cookie Monster, and it's all blue and wonderful. My videos, they are so different. I don't know, they probably come across as, like, some people call it scary even. Scary, like in an abbreviated version, scary. I've seen all of this. Spooky, weird. This is different. This is not good. The different, not good. This different. Different is scary. Why not just chill with it? Chill with it. You know? Chill with the chamomile flower. Sedation. And by the way, chamomile, essential oil absolute, is blue. I love it. I have that as well. I use that as perfume oil, and I also use that in my steamer. One drop in the steamer, and it's wonderful. It's fantastic. The steamer is helping me a whole lot. It is getting rid of the yellow mold in my lungs. It's fantastic. You know, these little yellow spike balls, microscopic, that's each right on one lung cell. They use my lung cells like horses. And they tickle them, and then the lung cells signal that you have to cough that out to my nervous system, and then my nervous system thinks it needs to cough that out. But it's gotten a lot better, so a whole lot better. I recommend to people to listen to Beethoven, even if they didn't grow up with it, because it will do something wonderful to your brains. Beethoven was tapped into the infinite cosmos when he was writing those compositions. He was going deaf, and it was a very tragic thing. And he had real severe tinnitus. And I think tinnitus is caused by a lot of stress. It's caused by extreme mental stress, psychological stress, which he had. He suffered a horrible, horrible, painful life. Very painful. And I am giving a rose, a blue rose, to Beethoven. This is for you, beautiful Beethoven soul, tormented being. I know better than anyone else, but it's like may all living beings be safe and protected, and feel calm and relaxed. That is my wish for the world. I envy all of those musicians. I I am envying them so much. I envy Christian Thielemann too. Christian Thielemann, by the way, is the reincarnation of Ludwig van Beethoven. He has a much better life now. It's hugely improved. Hugely improved. He has success now with everything: women, love, romance. He still drinks alcohol sometimes, but not before the real large performances. So before that, he said he has to stay sober for a week and meditate and contemplate towards that performance. That's very good. But why drink alcohol at all? There's still something tormented, isn't it? Something tormented. Something is still tormented and tormenting. If we didn't have anything tormenting in us, there would be no need to drink even a teaspoon of alcohol or any substance, any kind of substance. The chamomile tea that I'm drinking that makes me so calm, that's not a drug. That is a medicinal herb. It doesn't make people addicted. It does not create a cortisol, I don't know, an endorphin type of chain reaction addiction or something. It doesn't do that. It's a wonderful, heavenly herb, chamomile and any of the related species. Some of them grow in the dunes, and those are awesome, amazing, powerful too. I had those, I collected those before as well. whenever I see those, I pick some of those. I'm gonna bring my pruner with me, and I'm gonna put the pruner into my backpack. Little pruner of this size. And then I can use that to collect herbs. It's very nice. It's good to get into herbology. It's good to learn about it, what it does to the nervous system. And you can find medicinal herbs growing in the wild. It doesn't require a lot of money to spend on. I don't even trust herbal capsules that much. I don't know how high the quality is. If you want really high quality herbs, you go out there with a pruner and you pick them yourselves. That's the way to do it. Oh, that's a beautiful dove out there. The dove is the symbol of freedom. Mental freedom is the goal for all of us. But most people are not in mental freedom. They're addicted to street drugs. They're addicted to pharmaceutical drugs. And the pharmaceutical drugs are not medicinal at all. They're not there to heal you. They're not there to assist you or to help you. They're there to make someone money, to keep you addicted, to keep you coming to the doctor and getting prescriptions. They make you unfree, just like religion makes you unfree. I see the ocean, it's beautiful. Listen to Mozart, Bach, and Beethoven. Those are the three giants. When you listen to those, it will do something for you, for your brain. You can free yourselves. Every one of you. You can free yourselves. You can do it. Don't get afraid just because some emotional stuff will come up when you withdraw. Don't be afraid of it. It has a message for you. It wants to talk to you. Don't drown it out. Don't numb it out. Don't kick it away. It has a message for you. It wants to talk to you. There's a lot of stuff that comes up from our childhoods. And in most cases, there's stuff that comes up from other past lives as well. Most people will not acknowledge that or go along with it. That's okay. This is cutting edge. Okay, science is very, very, very gradually and slowly getting into this now. Very gradually. And it's still true. There are so many cases now that have come to the surface of little children talking about their past lives. A child is still fresh. A child didn't have that many years yet to create a callus around their inner creativity and their actual person. So they're still fresh and they still have all the memory going from the other lifetimes, particularly from the previous lifetime. I have memories from at least 4 of my past lifetimes. Unimaginable suffering. My last one, I was a Great Dane. I was a beige yellow Great Dane. And a male, and real large, kind of like yellowish fawn colored, but the whole body, no other color. The whole body and the face was yellowish beige. It was a horribly painful life. So I've had that perspective, from the dog perspective, that I brought into this lifetime. Naturally, I can feel everything they feel. And before that, I was a human, a man, and a writer, a very tormented soul, very, very tormented. Before that, I was a warrior in the 1500s. No, the 1400s, I think. I think it was the 1400s. A woman warrior. And before that, I was a person who was constantly misunderstood and tortured. And the woman warrior was tortured too. She was tortured to death. So all of these things, I have brought with me into this lifetime. And when I was a child, I drew those things. When I was 3 years old, I began drawing. I started drawing at 2, but it was still very abstract because I didn't know how to draw figures yet at age 2. But then at age 3, it started to form itself gradually. Hands, cut off heads, lots of cut off heads with the aorta and the other blood, the thick blood vessels hanging out like cords. Lots of that, lots of blood. Tormented. I drew Iron Maidens that I'd never seen before in this lifetime. Those things are not used anymore. They are somewhere buried in very murky museums where you have to walk like this in order to fit in, because the people used to be really short in the Middle Ages. But I hadn't seen that yet. We went into those torture museums in Germany much later. I was like 12 when we went there. I hadn't seen those yet when I was 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, when I was drawing those things. I didn't even know what I was drawing. I didn't even know what I was drawing for a very long time, until it dawned on me in retrospect, looking at those paintings when I was over 40, looking at those paintings, and I I got it finally. This is an Iron Maiden. These are all Iron Maidens. I don't know if you know what an Iron Maiden is. Not talking about the heavy metal band, which I listen to as well, of course. No, talking about that horrible thing, that torture instrument. No wonder, no wonder someone, if that stuff is not resolved energetically in any of those lifetimes at the end, towards the end, then we bring that with us in the next one. We continue where we left off until we have resolved that stuff. And I have no freaking idea how to resolve that stuff. I really have absolutely no idea. I did all kinds of therapies. Primal therapy was the most effective one. And listening to Jiddu Krishnamurti, breathing meditations, Anapana Samadhi. I already have Maitri. I'm full of Maitri. I don't need to do Maitri meditation. I have Maitri. I brought that in with me into this lifetime. Lots and lots and lots of it. An overabundance of it. Maitri and bodhicitta. Tender, loving kindness, compassion. And knowing where my vulnerabilities are. The bodhicitta. Very vulnerable. And my mind always knew that creating a callus, a wall, an armor around that vulnerability isn't going to get me anywhere. So I already came with that wisdom into this world. So I saw everyone around me doing all kinds of acrobatics with their psychology to escape from out and under that vulnerability. I looked at them with with sadness, knowing what they were doing, and with the knowing that this is not an escape route that I can possibly take, and never will, ever. I'm not going to lie to myself. I'm not going to get into a sort of denial or a nosognosia, the wounded deer syndrome. I'm not going to get into that. I am vulnerable, wounded. I'm a deer. I'm not going to kick out, and I'm not going to pretend that I'm okay and grazing. I am where I am. And that is my tabula rasa. That is my starting ground. That is where I start. I start where I am. And my message to anyone who can hear this message, anyone who is intelligent, anyone who is on the surge, searching, looking for truth, anyone who is willing to hear this, anyone who can sit still and listen to this, my message to you is start where you are. Go back to where you are if you had swayed off. If you had swayed off into a religion, come back to who you are. Leave that, drop it. Drop the religion, drop the drugs, drop your act-outs, drop any kind of violence, drop any kind of entitlement or expectations towards others, any kind of hostility, making some group of people into the villain. Drop all of this. Come back to who you really are, the flower of the infinite cosmos. That's who you really are. Come back to that. Leave the arrogance behind. Humble down. Come back, humble down to ground zero, to tabula rasa, to the child. That's what Friedrich Nietzsche said. People start out to be pack animals, camels. And it's horrible to put any kind of burden on a camel. Use that as a symbol, of course. The human is the camel who takes on the burden of other people, lets society burden them with their doctrines and their religions and their knowledge, whatever their knowledge is, which is always limited. So the next step is to become a lion. The camel needs to become a lion. The lion needs to say enough. I had enough. I'm shaking all of this burden off me. I'm a lion now. I roar out. I say no to things. The successful people are successful because they say no 99% of the time. They're roaring lions. They know how to protect themselves. Say no more often. And say yes to that what's true. Truth. Say yes to this here. Say yes to this. Say yes to blue. Say yes to the woman. Not the sex object. Okay? Yes to the woman. Yes to the living being. It's a living being. A woman is a living being. Like you. Say yes to that living being. Don't exploit that living being. Don't exploit any living being for your personal pleasures or whatever. Don't do it. Pleasure has to be mutual. Always look out for the other. Are you feeling good? Then that's good. So, the lion is the next step. Okay? I guess I'm still in the lion state. So, and then the next final step is to become the child. The lion becomes the child. So once we're child again, and I'm child a lot. I know what it's like to be a child when I paint, when I make art. When I cuddle with my dog Dave. That's a pure state, a pure mental state of love, Maitri, bodhicitta. That's the child. When there's no arrogance, when there's no self-image at all. The self is gone. The self as the idea of self, that has to go. Be one with the music, be one with the elements, with the clay, with the cookie monster, the t-shirt, the art, the sky, the trees, your animals. The woman is an animal. You are an animal. We're all animals. Christian Thielemann, he's happy now. I think he's happy. It's a little bit. There's still a little bit. A little bit is tormenting. If we didn't have torment, we can celebrate everything with red grape juice, freshly squeezed. Wouldn't that be amazing? And some ice cubes in it, made of Perrier water or San Pellegrino. Or hot spring water made into ice cubes with a bit sulfur in it. You can put that into your fresh squeezed grape juices and fresh squeezed apple juices. Fantastic. Fantastic taste and smell and sensual, and what an experience, and how the body is rejuvenated by that. You give your body real energy when you do that. It's amazing what that does. You go to a party and say, I'm going to drink grape juice with ice. And the people will look funny and they go, what's wrong with you? There must be something wrong with you. You don't drink alcohol. No, you say, there's nothing wrong with me. I am well because I'm putting well things into my body. So let's celebrate with freshly squeezed juices and hot spring ice cubes. And delicious, whole food, vegan dishes. Salty dishes, but only salted with Himalayan pink salt. And sweet dishes, only sweetened with whole plant sugars. Not stripped, not refined, not chemically separated, okay, not processed. Whole that is the key, is wholeness. Listen to Rudolf Steiner, he knows what he's talking about. Read all books by Rudolf Steiner. But don't become an anthroposophist, okay? Please don't. It's a misunderstanding. Anthroposophy is a misunderstanding, it's a religion. Rudolf Steiner did not, N-O-T, did not want people to make a religion after him, because he already knew what that entailed. He was against that. He always said, they worship me, but they don't listen to what I say. Same happened with Chitta Krishnamurti, of course. They worshipped him, and he would always say, are you guys mesmerized yet? I see you're mesmerized. But then they weren't listening to what he was saying. It's like, why don't we take the mesmerization out of things and just listen to what the other person has to say? The other person is just another person. So let's listen to each other more. And if we have something else to say to this, or have some kind of argument, or say, wait a minute, but let's look at it from this angle, then let's do that, okay? And let's get rid of this pride. Let's get rid of shame and pride. Let's get rid of mesmerization. Let's get rid of looking up to someone. Let's get rid of hierarchies, okay? Let's get rid of indoctrination. Let's get rid of all religiousness. And let's get rid of arrogance and pride and all of these things that are just escape mechanisms from that what we really are. Every single one of you is a child of the infinite cosmos. And we're equally valuable. We're all very different from each other. And that's good. Embrace that. And let's listen to what someone else says. If someone else has a lot to say, let's listen to it instead of trying to, instead of the ego taking offense and saying, oh, who this, that he or she think they are. No, let's get rid of all of this. Listen to it like a child listens to someone, without arrogance and without mesmerization. Just listen. And then think about these things that you listen to. Churn them through your brain. Evaluate it for yourself. Not according to a religion or according to a law, but from your own perspective, from your own, the way it feels, from your gut instincts. Okay? Listen to it. Learn from it. Test it out. Okay? When someone says something, you have to put that to the test and not be arrogant and say, oh, I'm a doctor, I know better. No, that's being stuck in a rut. Listen, test out, get rid of the arrogance, get rid of the mesmerization, and listen to the other person as a good friend. And that's what we're supposed to be, friends who help each other. I learn from others, and others have learned from me. And that's a wonderful thing. And if no one learned from me, I would still make the videos. So, because I make them also for myself. And so this is my wish for the world, is that we listen to each other, we help each other with humbleness, without hierarchy. The corporate agenda lives on hierarchy. That's why they try everything they can to marginalize someone who has a real message for the world. I'm not going to make videos in which I stunt my message or in which I play myself down. Right? That's ridiculous to do. But I'm not going to pretend to be someone I'm not. I don't. I am who I am. This is who I am. This is the real Nicola. I didn't copy this anywhere. I want everyone to do the same thing with their own lives for themselves. Don't copy anyone. Don't imitate some kind of girly role or manly role or whatever people do. I see these things. They don't escape my eyes. Don't do it. It doesn't make any sense. Don't play anyone else. Be yourself. Be yourselves and love yourselves. Kiss yourselves and be good to yourselves. And buy Veleda Rose body lotion and put that on your whole body. It doesn't matter if you are a man. You can do that too. You'd be surprised how many girls would like that. A boyfriend who puts Veleda Rose, wild rose body lotion or body oil on the whole body. Massage it in. Your skin cells will love it. And the girls will love it. They'll go crazy over it. Girls don't want a man who is in this pretense where they have to take themselves so seriously and they have to be coming across as so manly. They're so busy doing this they can't even enjoy their lives anymore. Don't do that. Be you, and the women will come to you. And same for us women. Okay? We have to be ourselves, not to be pretending to be Kim Kardashian or whoever. Modeling ourselves after someone else is completely, utterly ridiculous. It comes across as stupid and it comes across as weak, like a pushover. Why do you want to be a pushover? Friedrich Nietzsche said, I teach you the superhuman. I didn't tell you to become plants and ghosts. So, be the superhuman. That means you, be yourself. You're already super. You don't need to imitate someone else. Okay? That goes to every single human, that message. When I'm me, I can really be me. Then I am the natural superhuman, the superwoman, the empowered person. I'm attractive then. I feel attractive. Whether I'm attractive to others, I don't know. But I feel attractive. And that's what matters, you know. I love myself. I feel attractive. I love my baby skin. I love it. It's wonderful. Celebrate that. I celebrate that. We have to celebrate however we look like. However old we are, we celebrate that. That is you. That is wherever you are in your development, in your lifetime. You are precious. Okay? Just like any dog is precious at any age. Actually, that the poet Keats said that when we love something, really love someone, a being, a living being, an animal or person, the loveliness increases in time. It doesn't matter how old they get. The loveliness increases. And when they finally die and they cease to exist, it doesn't go into nothingness. It never does. Nothing goes into nothingness. It's always there. Their essence, their energy is always there. It will never vanish. It just changes form. That's all it does. It's wonderful. I wish very deeply that people can find love in themselves. They can find that state of love. That means self-love and loving every other life form. That's what I wish for everyone to do. When you reach that, there's nothing anymore left that you need to covet once you reach that state. But don't wish for it. You can wish for it. Don't cling to it. Okay? Don't cling to that outcome. I don't know. I'm not talking about enlightenment or anything. I'm talking about love. Love and compassion. Society doesn't give you any recognition for that. But that's not what matters. What matters is that you feel awesome. Not that someone else recognizes you as awesome. You have to feel awesome. That's what matters. So meditate on that. Practice this, okay? Love yourselves. And love all life forms, okay? You guys take care. Bye-bye.